The Steelers have announced their Hall of Honor class of 2025. They have 3 inductees this year: Joey Porter, Maurkice Pouncey, and Ben Roethlisberger. This is the first year Ben is eligible. I guess you have to be retired for 3 years. So Ben was eligible this year. Pouncey, he was eligible last year and got in this year with Ben, which Ben said if there's anyone besides Heath Miller, that is, he specified that, besides Heath Miller, if there is anyone he wanted to get inducted into the Hall of Honor with, it was Pounce and Joey Porter. Now, while Joey and Maurkice never played together, they were with the Steelers at the same time when Joey was here as a coach. Joey was coaching the defense and Pouncey was a center, but still, all 3 of these guys were technically with the organization at one time, representing them, either as a player or a coach. And in the modern day NFL, I would say Joey classifies that. It was this century. So as the modern day NFL, these 3 guys were probably, they were 3 of the best that we've had. Obviously, Cam's up there, TJ's up there, Troy Polamalu, we have guys who are up there, right? But these 3 guys, when you talk about leaders, and not to say Troy wasn't, and not to say Cam isn't, or TJ, so don't say I'm not saying anyone else isn't when I talk about these guys, but the leaders these guys were, you gotta listen to, I think it was Bob Labriola, when he talked about Joey and how he handled Super Bowl 40, because it was his idea to have Jerome Bettis run out on his own when the teams were being introduced. So he's he's told everyone stay back, and they let Jerome run out, and Jerome's like, wait, where'd everyone go? And it's like, nah, dude, this is your hometown, this is your moment. And even there was a guy from the Seahawks who said, along the lines of, it's too bad that Jerome came to his hometown just to lose the Super Bowl. And then Joey's like, all right, I gotta defend him here. So, the energy he brought, and then Pouncey, I think he was probably the first guy to defend Mason after Miles hit him with the helmet. And no matter what side you land on how it started, forget how it started. Here's what we know. We know Myles Garrett hit Mason Rudolph with his own helmet. We saw it. There's no, you have to try to hear something. No, you saw it. You saw him hit him with his own helmet. And Pouncey was the first one, I think, there to defend him. Now, he threw some punches. I think he kicked Miles. He was the first guy there. And he's talked about it since. He was on Ben's show and says he got hit with one hell of a fine and he got suspended for it. And he just wishes that it kind of been Ben, but not really. But, let it be Ben, then it's really worth it, Because, yes, Mason's his teammate, and he's going to defend his teammate. It's his quarterback for the season, really, between him and Duck. But he was out there at that moment. But he's he got hit with that punishment for Mason. And Ben, 18 years, He won 2 Super Bowls. Went to a third. Lots of success with him. And his last game at Heinz Field, I remember Najee, he got the ball and he bounced it outside, I think, and he was running down the field, and I'm just like, go down, yelling at the TV, go down, Najee. And he scores the touchdown. I'm like, because basically I wanted Ben to knee it out. That is what I wanted. I wanted him to end the game with the ball in his hands. And Najee scored. I'm like, well, that's it. And then Baker ended up throwing the pick. I think it was to Trey Norwood. I think he threw the pick to Trey Norwood. And Ben got to come out and kneel it, I think, once. And then Tomlin, I think, tried to call a timeout with a couple seconds left so he could kneel it again. But I think the one was fine. It's one knee, and he gets to be on the field for his last game at Heinz Field at that time. And the game's over, and I'm crying, how much he meant to the team. Now, I was born in 97. And I didn't become a Steelers fan until 2009. It was the 2008 season, but in 2009. You can kind of understand what happened around that time. That is when I became a Steelers fan. Super Bowl 43. And so I was still 11 at the time, because I didn't turn 12 yet. So I was 11 years old and watched that Super Bowl, and I'm like, I'm a Steelers fan. And I have been ever since. So I've been a Steelers fan for 16 years, whatever months. So over a decade and a half I've been a Steelers fan. And I'm going to continue to be a Steelers fan. Through the thick and thin, the good times and the bad. Winning Super Bowls and 8-year playoff drought, whatever we're at. But just over 500, or maybe Mike Tomlin finally has a losing season eventually, or, we're the number 1 seed. I'll be a Steelers fan for all of it. And, just to have Ben for all that time. These guys, these 3 guys right here, were 3 of the pillars during the 2000s. They really were. God. And I was in I was watching the live stream of when they announced these. And I'm just watching the chat, and they announced Pouncey first. Everyone's like, Pouncey, Pounce! And then Joey, and everyone's Peasy! And then Ben, it's like, Big Ben, oh my God! And everyone, yes, some people were like, wait, it's only 3, but for the most part, people were like, they loved this class. They thought it was a great class. And it really is a nice class here for the Hall of Honor. And, we're going to have Pouncey eligible for the Hall of Fame, I think, a year from now. I think he's going to be eligible for the class of 26 for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And that's if he's first ballot. If he's not first ballot, he's not first ballot. But he was a second team All-Pro as a rookie. He finished third in Offensive Rookie of the Year. A center finished third. Like, how good of a center Pouncey was. I think he has a chance at being a first ballot. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But let's say hypothetical he's not. He's not a first ballot. Well, then Ben's eligible for the class of 27. So they could go into the Hall of Honor together, and in 2 years, they could end up going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame together. Like, and how close of a relationship they had. Like, this is awesome. I'm really happy for all three of these guys. They will have some kind of event the day before our game versus the Miami Dolphins. And then they'll honor them probably during halftime of the game versus the Dolphins. Let me think. So we have that. We'll have our throwbacks versus the Packers. We have a couple, and who knows, we might do like a color rush or maybe the throwbacks for this. I have no idea. But yeah, so our game versus the Dolphins, December 15th, I believe. That is when we will honor these three guys. And if you watch Ben's podcast, he said that he visited the facility the week prior, one of the days the week prior, leading up to them recording that video. And that's probably when they told him that he was going to be in the Hall of Honor. And he obviously couldn't say anything. So, Joey, they had on the show live, and he said he got a call from someone, and she said that he needed to call Art. So he called Art, and that's when Art told him. So he may not have been in Pittsburgh at the time, because when Joey Jr. got drafted, he literally just walked to the Steelers. Not walked, they probably drove, but he literally just walked in the Steelers facility that night. He didn't have to fly. So, and that was after they left the draft in Kansas City, where Senior is from. Because he had a chance to be drafted in his dad's hometown. And that didn't happen in the first round. So then they go home to Pittsburgh, and then he gets drafted by the Steelers, and they go to the facility. So, but yeah, I just can't express how happy I am for these three guys. I really can't. It is absolutely awesome that these three guys have been inducted. So that is it for this. If you guys did enjoy it, please do leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.